Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice Bhushan Ram Krishna Gawai, Honorable Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia, Honorable Judges of this Court, the learned Attorney General for India, the Solicitor General of India, other law officers present here today, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Vice President of the SCBA, Pragya Baghel, Secretary SCBA, members of the Executive Committee of the SCBA, Vipin Nair, President SCORA, and members of the Executive Committee of SCORA, members of the family of Justice Dhulia, and my very special welcome to Srimati Sumitra Dhulia, his mother, who's present with us today. Madam, it is with your blessings Justice Dhulia has come so far, and we are very happy and proud that you are with us today. Other family members of Justice Dhulia, his wife, his children, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we also had a ceremonial bench in the morning. And I had a lot of requests from many eminent seniors who wanted to speak on this occasion. So I had told them that if you want to speak, you speak there at this. Somebody wanted to recite a poem, because I felt that that function is meant for the general bar. And I'm so happy to say that everybody who spoke there spoke from his heart about his feelings of how he felt during his interaction with Justice Dhulia as a judge. And it shows the immense popularity of Justice Dhulia as a judge, and his decisiveness, his preparation, his demeanor, his behavior with the members of the bar, because that is actually the real occasion where the entire members of the bar have an opportunity to voice their views with regard to their feelings about his tenure as a judge of the Supreme Court. Justice Dhulia's early life has not been very easy. He was, after studying his MA in Jawaharlal Nehru University, he wanted to pursue a master's program in the Syracuse University in the US. He had also got admission there, but he didn't have the funds to do it, to go there and study. He joined law in the hope that someday his father may agree to send him to Syracuse, but unfortunately his father expired. And it is then that destiny was shaped, and Justice Dhulia, instead of studying abroad in a different subject, ended up becoming a lawyer and becoming an asset for the institution. His mother has played a very active role in his early life. She has struggled. She was a teacher herself. She's taken care of the family. She used to fend for all of them. Her contribution in his life is outstanding. We salute all such mothers who take this kind of a role and responsibility in bringing up children like this and giving such values to the child to become good human beings and to do good work professionally. I have seen Justice Dhulia. I've interacted in some judgments, and I want to mention one of them, which I think was a difficult case, a very difficult case for me. There was this client of mine who had an interim order by the Supreme Court, whose passport was seized by the Supreme Court. It was a child custody issue. His child was in the US, and on one of the dates, in spite of his passport being in the custody of the Supreme Court, even without telling me, he just vanished and went to the US. I found out that he had actually got a US passport issued. He was a green card holder. He applied for a US passport on the ground that his child is there, and he had gone to the US. Justice Dhulia, rightly so, and Justice Mishra was also there in that bench. They were livid, rightly so, that how could he defy the order of the Supreme Court? How could he leave the country like this? So he passed an order in a huff saying that he should be arrested and he should be extradited. So I pointed out, of course, with all the respect at my command, I said, please don't pass an order which can't be implemented, because extradition can't be done in a matter of this kind, especially in a custody matter, when he's a US citizen. So Justice Dhulia very fairly admitted to me in court that I am not also very conversant with this branch of law. I will check up and see whether this order can be passed or not. And lo and behold, when I saw the order, the extradition sentence had been withdrawn. This shows the maturity of a judge. While passing matters of moment, you need to reflect. You need to see what are the far-reaching consequences that the order can have. And that is exactly what Justice Dhulia did. In another matter of an irretrievable breakdown of marriage, normally Supreme Court judges say irretrievable breakdown, although not a ground of divorce in the Hindu Marriage Act, under 142 we will excise that jurisdiction. Twice an amendment was sought into the Hindu Marriage Act to include irretrievable breakdown as marriage as a ground for divorce, and both times it was not passed by the parliament. So Justice Dhulia, in an irretrievable breakdown of marriage, instead of using 142, said this amounted to cruelty, which is also a ground for divorce, which I think is, again giving respect to the rule of law, and rather than, using 142, exercising the actual jurisdiction which is available, which is cruelty, which is a ground on which divorce can be granted in this country. His judgment on hijab, whatever be the legal issues, but the social impact of the judgment is immense. What ultimately are we doing by insisting on hijab? We ultimately will end up actually ensuring that a lot of these girls don't come to regular schools and go back to madrasas. Are we wanting to achieve that? Is that the ultimate objective? The objective is to enforce a certain amount of discipline. But discipline for the purpose of a dress code, which their religion, even if they wrongly perceive it to be an essential part, it is not an essential part, it is well settled, but even if they consider it to be an essential part, what difference does it make if you allow such children to come? So apart from the legal issue, I think the impact of the judgment has a huge social issue of ensuring that every section of our society remains part of mainstream India instead of, doing something which will alienate them. Even when there was a matter against a High Court judge, contempt was filed, he again protected the judge, because ultimately we have to protect the institution also. The High Courts also have to be protected. If we start accepting contempts against High Court, it will actually erode the confidence of the people against the institution which is the higher judiciary. His decision to vacate the residence the same day, it is outstanding. I think this is a huge way to enhance the prestige of the institution which is the Supreme Court. He retires on the 9th, on the 10th he leaves from Mussoorie, from Dehradun and Mussoorie, and then he goes from there, when he comes back, he goes to his new home. Now we've had a recent example of a Chief Justice wanting to overstay. Chief Justice is allowed 6 months only. He had already stayed in that house for 8 months. I was surprised to see him using the ground of his disabled children. But the real reason was that even after 8 months, he said that he's looking for a private home. Ultimately, he went to a government home. So obviously, while he was in tenure, there was some arrangement with the government which is going to give him something, and that is why he didn't move to the private home. He moved straight away to a government home, and he's not entitled to any government accommodation. 6 months is the maximum with the Chief Justice, and the Honorable Chief Justice Gawai mentioned yesterday that whatever is the time, he will definitely vacate before time. This enhances the prestige of the institution, because day in and day out, you have to decide when a minister overstays or a bureaucrat overstays, and you invariably have to pass difficult orders asking for their eviction from the allotted official bungalow. If you can't do it yourself, How can you do it judicially for people, other people who want to? Everybody has got a good excuse, some of the other excuse. But you can't be permitted. You knew that you had these children with you. You should have planned your things much earlier. But if you wanted to get a government bungalow and that was getting delayed, and because of which you did not leave the government bungalow till you got another government bungalow, which is not entitled to, then of course there is something sinister. Justice Dhulia and I have a little bit of similarity. He also plays tennis. He used to play tennis in his university days. We in fact have a common tennis player friend, Deepak Bhargav from Allahabad. And I played with Deepak even now once in a while when he comes to Delhi. Now after his retirement, I'm sure he'll get all his time to play his 18 hole of golf, because I'm sure now he would not have played more than 9 holes in this tenure while as judge of the Supreme Court. And I was requesting him just now before coming on the dais that he should also try and get back into his game of tennis, because I remember Justice Bobde also used to play for the university, and when we did one of our tournaments, he had not played for almost 20 years. We did the Supreme Court tournament, and I just asked him that why don't you come and hit a couple of balls. He not only hit balls, he actually played for a good 10-15 minutes, and he had a very good game. And he said, I've not touched the racket for 20 years. So I'm requesting Justice Dhulia to restart this game, and I look forward, sir, if I get an opportunity, if you're back on the tennis court to play a game with you, it will be my privilege. I wish Justice Dhulia the best of his next innings. I'm already seeing him relaxed. His face is much more relaxed. Of course, he used to always be relaxed in court. Nobody can complain that he used to be tense in his court while sitting in court. But this relaxation is a little different from that relaxation in court, because there that relaxation included the pressure of reading the briefs. At least now you don't have the pressure of reading the briefs. So all my very good wishes to you, sir. And we since you are going to be in Delhi, I'm sure we'll be interacting quite frequently. And we will also be troubling you for issues of the bar. I forgot to mention, we have Justice Rastogi also here, retired judge with us. It's very nice to see you, sir. Thank you.